Well, happy laborious day, or whatever the fuck we're celebrating here. Because of my mishaps last week, there was certain things I didn't address, like the passing of my friend Annette Heinz, 71 years old, one of the golden age performers, culinary chef, really, really great lady, always there to lend an ear, a lot of fun. Um, Unfortunately, she found out that she was sick, terminally so, was going into hospice. Gene Silver was her, I guess, executor, whatever. And Gene got a call that, she was transitioning, means she was dying, and that was the end of that. And Gene started basically a GoFundMe thing to just get funeral expenses out of the way because, Annette really didn't have anybody, and they were best friends. And Gene's doing the right thing. I sold a couple posters so I could throw some money toward it. But yeah, it's just a sad thing, when you just, you're old and you're alone. And I unfortunately just had to go through that with that little trip to the ER last week. And things I got to address, like I said, but on the way out, there was this poor guy just laying on a gurney and in the dark, and there was nobody with him. And I'm like, what's his story? How many people just wind up dying alone for whatever reason? It's kind of sad. I'm thinking, did this guy have a family or something? There was nobody with him? Because I am looking at this guy and I'm like, he's going. And it's just sort of brought a lot of shit home that, my thing is I don't want to go that way. And like I said, it's fucking sad, but, and that had us on the internet, on Facebook and stuff like that. And we were always, throwing $25, $50 to each of us when shit got bad, when things broke in her house, my dogs get sick. And, you get caught unawares and every little bit helps. And, we've been doing that even when Carter was still with us, a bunch of us. And, I was never in the business, so to speak. I was just, a peddler, a vendor, a distributor. But, we became friends. And it's just sad to see people go like this. I mean, like I said, Jean broke her ass to do the right thing and take care of her friend. She's going to be cremated, and her ashes are going to be sent to Jean and an urn and stay with Jean. So rest in peace, Annette. You were a good friend and a lot of fun. A lot of people are going to miss you, and you were just a really great, decent human being. And that brings something back, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm a smut peddler. I've been selling smut for the last 50 years, and it's just I don't know. I made a living doing it. I sold other things too, but that always kept me going. That was always the fallback, because you always know you're going to sell X amount of smut at any given time. And I guess that's why I was so good at Norman's, because I could move tons of the shit, because I could tell people what was wonderful when I really didn't even know, because I lost interest in that shit, after my 8mm days and the early video days. Because after a while, it becomes like watching paint dry. And it's like, I had no emotional connection to it other than a dollar bill, so it always worked out for me. But, you come across some oddball shit, and myself and my associate, Mr. Gonzo, went halves on a load of vintage gay porn. And I've been sneaking the stuff on eBay, because some of it's got very nondescript covers, and, the way you can, you find, I just punched them, how did I do this? Gay VHS tapes, and something came up, and I trailered on it, and hey, so far, we're doing okay. But there was some loops in there. And we were going through this stuff, he goes, look what's on the side of this box. It said Chuck Connors. And I'm like, well, fuck, I remember hearing something about some kind of thing with, I don't know, it was either somebody had a videotape out of, Stars Exposed or something like that, or it was something in a magazine. I remember it was something with Burt Lancaster, but it was a beefcake pose, but full frontal nudity. I vaguely remembered something like that about Chuck Connors. So he goes, "You're going to have to watch this, right?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because if it is him, maybe we can get some decent money for it." So, all right, put it in, and it's, shot from a distance a little bit. It's two guys, obviously in some kind of military school uniforms, and next thing you know, the pants are down, the weenies are out, and they're going to town. So I had to really, wade through this thing, and all of a sudden, somebody's laying on their back being serviced, and I got a shot of Chuck Connors' face, and it's definitely Chuck Connors. So never say I didn't take one for the team. And if you want to see this, my eBay handle's Blackjack Morgan. You can see it; it's up there. I'm trying to get $100 for it. What the fuck, But still, you come across the weirdest shit. Like I actually had the Barbra Streisand blowjob movie, and we were going to transfer it, and it got lost. I was looking around here for the box. I saw the box, but the fucking film got lost. I can't really say if it was Barbara, somebody who looked a lot like Barbara. So they'll exploit anything back in the day. I had the what I thought was a Marilyn Monroe striptease loop, and it's been disproven that it isn't. But when I bought it, they said it was. There's been some Jane Mansfield, striptease loop. There's been a bunch of stuff out there, but now the whole celebrity porn thing sort of passe because of the whole, Pam and Tommy Lee and everything. And yeah, I made bank on that fucking thing. I probably told this story before they actually had put it out legit through Vivid. Someone lent me a copy of it for the weekend. So I took it home, and it was like, yeah, okay, this is 45 minutes of them just meandering around on a fucking boat, smoking weed, and the dialogue is, oh, where are we, and oh, it's so big. And mostly the focus is on Tommy Schlong. So I'm like, all right, then I'm thinking, 45 minutes. I go down to my store and take every unsellable piece of shit that was 45 to 60 minutes, and took it home and stripped them, and basically ran off 100 copies of that tape and sold them all in one weekend for $10 a piece. So, yeah, that was my introduction to the VHS end of it. But the other one, there was some other rumors floating around about some other people. There was I can't remember the actor. I think he was in Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood, and some kind of loop or film surfaced with him in it, and we were getting rid of that real quick because this guy's going someplace. So that thing, I can't remember who the guy was. But anyway, hey, everybody starts somewhere, wherever. I mean, look at William Sanderson and fight for your life. I'm sure he wishes that wasn't on his resume, but hey, it's there. So. Yeah, but like I said, I have no beef with the industry. I've made friends with the industry. I've been doing it since basically VHS came out. And going back to the 8mm. Actually, I've been doing it since I was 17 years old. I would buy loops and watch them and then flip them to my friends and add a couple bucks. And then, I found out where I get them wholesale and shit like that. So, but yeah, I was doing that for a while. So, I don't know where this is going to go with this thing. I don't know. I got to see a doctor at the end of the week and see what's going on with certain shit. So, yeah, it's been another little wake-up call because it's kind of fucked up. I was supposed to go to this, quote, senior picnic that was, the town was running on, whatever, and I registered. And when I pulled in the parking lot, I'm looking at these people going into this place, and I'm like thinking to myself, that isn't me. But people, I don't know. I looked at this and I said, I don't even fit in here. Not that I fit in anywhere, anyhow, but I'm looking at this going, man, this is what I am now? I mean, it never, I guess I was under the illusion too, like a lot of people, you can keep on going, but the reality is you can't. You can only go so far, and then all of a sudden, life, fate, whatever, is going to just slap you upside the head like it did with me last week. So I'm trying to get out of this whole depression shit over certain things. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what to do. And I honestly don't know what to do at this point. It kind of sucks. But I'll figure something out. I'll keep this going as long as I can. I know a lot of people reached out. A lot of people are concerned, and I appreciate this. It's kind of weird, though, when you look at the views, and when I went to that whole depths of despair thing or disgust or whatever I put up, 800 something views when the average thing I put up is only a couple of hundred views. So I don't know. I can't figure things out. I wish I could. I was even thinking maybe doing a Patreon thing, which you would have to pay to see, but I could probably get away with a lot more shit that I can't get away with on here. So it might be worth the while. So I got to think of that too. So. But then, like my girl told me, and a bunch of other people told me, maybe you ought to think of yourself first for a change, because this ain't doing you no good. I mean, you basically cheated death like 6 times in your life already. So maybe you would have just sit back and maybe figure some other shit out instead of getting aggravated over this shit. So yeah, so maybe they're right. So maybe I got to give it some thought. But anyway, happy Labor Day for what it's worth, and stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.